Hello, 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 Queen of Credit. I'm coming in and I'm typing in for you all that's coming in now. Your 5 minutes of fame. Enter your city and state. Enter your city and state, or just say hello. All right, just say hello. That's your do nows. Everyone is coming in. Also, hey, Detroit. Martin is the first one in. First one in from Detroit, Michigan. All right. Detroit, Michigan. 5 minutes of fame. Drop your city and state. Or just say hello. We got Martin. First one in. With pride, I guess, Martin. With pride. Uh, hello, Regina. Regina, what is it? Oh, Regina. Why wasn't you in the private team training last night? Regina, I didn't see you for the home based business. I didn't see you in the private training. How's everything going? Let me know if you all can hear me well too. Give me a sound check. As my daughter is here and she has her television blasting, right? Hello, Kimberly from Portsmouth, Virginia. I probably didn't pronounce that correctly. Hello, Black Cash. I love that name, Black Cash. What is Black Cash? Black Cash. Hello to you. Hello, Shahid. If I mispronounce your name, you all don't take it personal, right? Don't take it personal. I'm trying. All right, NYC. How's everything going in NYC in New York, right? Antoine was on a private from Detroit, aka Detroit. Okay, Kimberly says the O is silent. Okay. Uh, yeah, Regina from Nashville. Antoine was in the private team training last night as well. Dallas, Texas. Miss Gwen Armstrong from Dallas, Texas. Hello, Nyla. Hello, Nyla coming in as well. Okay, good. You all can hear me. That's great. Glad you can hear me. Glad you can hear me. Because my daughter has a Tyler Perry just blasting in the background. Thanks, Kimberly, for letting me know. Housing to cash or house and to cash. House and to cash. Hello from Facebook. Okay, Regina. I think I set up my Zoom. My cousin just walked me through it, how to set up Zoom. And I know Zoom will allow more people in. And so try to talk to you all for 25 minutes before our credit class starts, right? So our next session, and hopefully I have Zoom figured out. She just talked me through it, how to set up Zoom. Okay, good, good. Black Cash says it's our money in and no money out. I don't know about that, Black Cash. Our money in and no money out. Hello, Tiffany. She was in a private session last night or last evening. Hello, and Sonia was in. Hello, Miss Sonia Tillman as well. We got Tiffany Pollard all the way from San Diego, California. Patricia, you new to this, but you true to this because guess what? I see you. You doing well. From Miami, the M-I to the A, right? M-I to the A. Hello, Patricia from Miami for coming in. So I have approximately seconds, trying to see, a couple of seconds before the 5 minute mark. So while you all already gave your 5 minutes of fame and your shout outs, right, as you're coming in, do me another favor, hit the live exit button and go back and hit the thumbs up so people will know that we or I am live, right? It'll give them notification on the channel that I am live and I am live streaming. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible, but it's a very important message. I think that I'm going to try to explain with simplicity, right? So you all go out, just tap on that live chat on that X button if you're on your cell phone, hit the thumbs up, and then come back into your live chat, right? Um, hello, living below. Hello to you. Black Cash says, meaning keeping money in the bank. Black community, okay, I understand. That makes sense before it goes out. So I got you. So great name. Love that name. Love that name. Yeah, love that name. Good name. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Yes, living below. Thank you for that shameless plug. She says, hit the like button. Really appreciate that. Hit that like button. Ace one of the big legalized Ponzi scheme game, and quality of life depends on how well you play the game. What's our one big legalized Ponzi scheme? The financial system, Ace one. Okay. Okay, yeah, the studio probably was full, Regina, because I was not doing Zoom. I had the Zoom account. I'm not familiar with it. So I'm familiar with what I'm on now, using now. And so it don't allow a certain amount of participants. But the next training, I will give you all the text message and let you know. I think I have Zoom set up now. My cousin walked me through it, right? Thank you so much, Martin, for congratulating me on the promotion. For you all that don't know, I'll show you what promotion he's referring to. I posted on YouTube as well, but I also have it on my Facebook page. I always have a lot of stuff on my Facebook page, so let me share that. Auburn is in. Hello, Auburn from Georgia. Regina, you said when? Oh, when? I know I need that vacation. I don't know. I'm just letting this health pandemic kind of slow down. If nothing else, I need to go to the sauna and do a mental vacation. If nothing else, and get a massage. I mean, at least I can do that. So I don't know. I keep saying I was going to schedule that for 2-3 weeks now, and I never did. So I'll make that on my to-do list. I appreciate you asking and inquiring about that. How do I feel about Sushu, and other flower groups that give money to each other? That's a great question. Black Cash, I don't believe in any products or gifting like that when there's no exchange of goods and services. It's really meant to be family oriented. That I think that people are abusing, right? Just like, for example, with credit cards were meant to be that add authorized users, right, on your credit card and add people as an authorized user. And usually that's a family member, right? So you can build family generational credit. And they took that and started monetizing it and start allowing people to sell their credit card history and adding strangers as authorized users, right? Because an authorized user is supposed to be someone that you are authorizing to use your credit card. And so I feel like the Sushu, the flower groups that give money batch, it's the same way. I feel like if you know the person personally that starts up the group, the Sushu group, right? Sushu, however you pronounce the flower, then you may get a return, right? You may actually get a return. I don't think it's anything ongoing. I think people are seeing maybe 1 or 2 payouts if they're close to the person. But me personally, I don't believe in anything like that, right? I believe in offering products, goods, and services. And if it's not, it's just pretty much a pyramid scheme. If you're not offering anything of substance or goods and services in return, then that's the way I look at it. And you know, a lot of people, they give into it, but they don't get two more, or there are people to come in, they give in and they cash out. So it's always a group of people that's left behind. or people that's holding the bag, right? So I don't participate in pyramid scheme. I won't participate in it. And then plus I do credit. And you might think this is an oxymoron, but it's the truth. Because I do credit, you wouldn't believe it, but I promise you I'm telling you the truth. People with bad credit will say that I paid someone to fix my credit and I was scammed. That's hard for me to believe sometimes because I'm looking at the numerous accounts on their credit reports that they did not pay back as agreed, right? So it always baffled me when I get those stories. Just they saying, well, I paid this company and I've been paying them for months and they did nothing. Oftentimes that also comes with that person didn't do anything, didn't do their follow-up part, right? And so with me being associated with credit restoration repair, I will not personally associate my name with it because I want my name to be credit worthiness, and I will never entice or promote or ask people to join in something that has no substance, right? You're not receiving any services. And this has been around for a long time. They also have something now, not the flower gifting, but it's another one I forgot. But it's another one, and it's always a group of people that's going to be holding the bag. And we're in a recession, so I'm not going to cheat anyone out of $100, $400, or $500. Talking about a watering, because every penny counts right now for everybody, right? So, yeah, great question. Ace One says the whole financial system that's fiat is a Ponzi scheme. You're right, Ace. You're absolutely correct. But I would think silver right now, because you actually get a higher rate on return for your silver than your. Oh, thank you. Than silver than you would gold. I think gold is at $2,000 an ounce, and actually they're making it harder to access gold right now. So you may not even be able to get a hold to any gold right now. But silver is still at $25 an ounce, and the silver to ratio of gold is really, really high, right? Which means that's the time to buy when the ratio is really high. And then when that silver to gold ratio drops, it'll be really low. So in essence, you'll get a greater return on your investment with silver, because silver is twofold, right? It's a monetary, it's a monetary, right? And it's industrial. Gold is just monetary. But the thing I like about gold, I don't know this to be true. I'm testing that theory. But Robert Kiyosaki, one of my great person that I love, and I'm gonna share you out right now. I call him my unknown mentor, just because I'm in the public schools and I know a lot of what he talks about is true in the public schools. But with Robert Kiyosaki, he's really, really saying silver right now. He's not buying any more gold. And I can show you all that post. I think I made that on my Facebook. So, yes, you all hit the like button. Let's get more people in this credit and cash flow room. The title for this is What If I Told You Everything You Know About Credit, About Debt, and Your Job Was Wrong, right? What if I told you everything you know about credit, debt, and your job is wrong? Hello from Tampa, Florida. Facebook, Mr. Mentor. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the congratulations. And let me show you why they're congratulating me. And okay, let me read this from Ellen. Aline, probably. It's probably Aline from Federal Way, Washington. Hello, enjoying your broadcast. Hello from Washington. So people from New York to Detroit, from California, Jesus, to Washington, Miami, Tampa, Florida, all in the house. So glad you all come in here. Jesus says, I prefer gift of credit and money knowledge that Queens. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it always amazes me that people will invest in those things, right? They'll put $500 in it before they really look into a real cash flowing home-based business. They'll invest that in $500 with no education behind it, no significance. Knowing some people will be not, get their returns, right? And I don't know, right? Cleveland coming in. Hello, Cleveland. Do I take questions? It depends on Periscopes. What is the question? I like to say it's two types of questions, right? One is a common question, one that will help the common community of everyone that's on the live stream, or just a general question. Then the other question I say is a cash question, which means you're asking me a question specifically about your situation, your financial situation, custom for you. And if I answer that question, you're on Periscope, but I require people to give a super chat or a monetary investment to get that knowledge that will help them financially. So thank you all again. Let me share this post on Facebook for everyone saying congratulations. You all may not know. This is just another one of my posts I made. The Fed is Fed to hand out trillions, millions, wait for a $600 check. Why wait for $600 when you could be making millions? This is a great time to get rich, right? So my other post, long day, but got it done. These are some thick envelopes I had today with credit. That's kind of my webcam right there, my light that I come before you all. But I had a long day. Well, not a long. Yeah, it was pretty tedious what I had to do. I had some heavy hitters, foreclosures and stuff had to be disputed. A lot of charge offs and things like that with credit. So I had two very challenging credit profiles that I had to break down today, right? So this is my post that they're congratulating me, area director in the home-based business. I'm thanking my millionaire mentor, Mr. Brian Bean, for helping me, get rich. I said, I'm just a woman from Mississippi. My tax person said, you don't realize what your income when he does my taxes, that that's not normal for a single woman in Mississippi to make that income, right? So, a portion of it is public school system, which is not much, right? But the other is my home-based business in combination of my credit repair business. So area director is just a pit stop. I won't spend too many paragraphs about my accomplishment because district director is not far away. But right now it's $900 momentum bonuses are set in place. I will earn 50% increase in my current pay. I'm close to the Comma Club, which is at minimum, you get $1,000 a month for that. And I have the luxury vehicle bonus at $500 a month, 50% matching bonus, right? They can go up to $100,000 a month. And also I have daily guaranteed pay right now. So that's my promotion. Thank you all for thanking me, appreciating me. I do thank you all. And right now my focus is on trying to figure out Zoom. I think I got it. So this is pretty much my presidential bonus that I get for a vehicle. I won't be using it for a vehicle right now. I'm at $500 a month. My next level is going to be $1,000. This is our residual income. This is my daily pay. This builds up on a daily basis, and then it cashes out at the end of the month, along with other different ways we get paid in this. But this is the tweet that I was telling you all about earlier. My mentor, right, that I one of my Robert Kiyosaki that says Dennis Gartman respected gold bull is out of gold, right? So thinks gold prices has peaked. I agree. Silver still around $25 an ounce. Is 50 next is what he's asking. Everyone can afford if you have money. Bitcoin is moving up. So he's saying everyone can afford silver if you have money. Also, Bitcoin is moving up. I am out of gold, right? He says he's out of gold. Rob Kiyosaki, multimillionaire, loading up on silver and Bitcoin. What are you doing? Got silver, got Bitcoin, and I would ask, got credit? And I'm going to tell you why. So thank you all so much. I just came back over. Okay, yes, I paid off and my credit was not great. Sorry, I'm sorry, I saw a little net. Okay, so what's the question? If you paid, are you saying that you paid off your debt and your credit still was not great? Hello, Miss Kearney coming in. She's also executive director in the home-based business. That's a question. I can't really answer that question until I'm looking at your credit report to see what's exactly on your credit profile. I can't tell you how long it'll take your credit score to rise when I don't know what's on your credit score, right? So that's why I do consultations. It's $125 for a credit analysis and consultation that I can analyze, eyeball, and look at your credit report. And then I'll be able to answer that question for you. Go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. www.fixmycreditandcash.com. And then let me show this Battle L. Thank you so much for the $14.99 super chat. I really am grateful and humble and appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. So let me leave that website up, and then I put the super chat for the person that needs some credit guidance and consultation. Ace One says, I'm right on about Robert Kiyosaki. The creature from Jekyll Island should be a requirement in public school. I totally agree. And this is why, and I brought these out for a reason. This is why I do not answer questions for free. This is just some of my books on my live streams. Number one, a lot of them I can't answer because they directly relate to you. And I can't answer that without looking to see what's on your credit report. I don't know, I have to, so this is all my Robert Kiyosaki stuff. Well, not all of it. It's all of it I felt like taking out. Yep. And so this is all him. Let me turn it this way. And so these are just some of the things that I felt like taking out today to share you all. And so when you give a super chat to me, this is what I first started learning about network marketing, the business school for helping people who like helping people. And so when you're giving a super chat to me, you're not giving me a super chat. You might think in your mind, well, it will only take you 2 or 3 minutes to answer that question. No, it took me years of finding the answer. So it can take me 2 or 3 years to answer that question. 2 or 3 minutes to answer that question. It took years of research so that I could answer it in 2 or 3 minutes. So that's why I don't do that for free. Another one of his books, The Art of Raising Capital, Rich Dad Advisor books, Other People's Money, right? Another one, Rich Dad Advisors, Tax-Free Wealth. See, I had to take years of research so I can give you a 2 or 3 minute answer, right? So that's why I don't answer for free. Writing business plan, that's why you have to make an investment. Rich Dad Advisor book. Rich Dad, Before You Quit Your Job, right? Robert Kiyosaki, right? His wife, Kim, love her. A book on investing for women, Rich Woman, right? Because I hate being told what to do. This is a budgeting CD, Robert Kiyosaki, to increase your IQ. This is what I want to talk about. Black students, middle class teachers. You wouldn't believe what this has to do with tonight's topic, but it's gonna tie into. You're gonna understand it in a few minutes. And this is some credit stuff. Ash Cash, what the FICO steps to repairing your credit report. And I don't want to discredit any one book, but I read these one time and didn't revisit them. Wasn't a lot about disputing or getting negatives out. Another book on credit, Repair Your Credit Like the Pros. Look how that looks. Look nice. Another Rich Dad, Loopholes of the Rich. This is just something. I have another stack of books down here, right? I mean, I have a whole nother stack. Another Corey P. Smith, Conspiracy of Credit, Lower Your Taxes. So sometimes people ask me questions. Hey, Queen, what book will you recommend I read? Help me about credit. I'm like, I don't know. I read several. I can't tell you just one book. I had to read a lot of them. Steve Harvey, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. This is just what I have here. Love these two. Sherry Peel Jackson, you'll learn about the creature of Jekyll Island, who the Fed really is, that it's not the government. And she's also promoting why you need a home-based business as well. And this one, how to legally operate and maintain your company. She's talking about running your own corporation, also the power of a home-based business. So when you ask me a question, and you might think, it only would take 5 minutes of your time. No, it took years for me to get the answer. So for people that don't want to invest in getting the answer, like giving, super checks, then you're not investing in yourself. So why should I? Right? You're not investing in yourself. So why should I? So I have a couple of my home-based business partners who are about to switch over to our live stream. I may stay on my live stream, but we have a cash flow class. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video so they can at least watch 5 minutes. I want to share this with you. I talked about a person that I love, his philosophy about money and wealth. And I was on the phone conversation with a friend today, and I was asking him, I said, why is it that the middle class is so afraid to use credit? Credit and debt, in my definition, is different. Credit is anything or using OPM, others people's money, to make more money. Debt is using other people's money or the bank money, and you're spending out more money, right? And you're spending out. Hello, I have one of my favorite pastors in the whole world. Pastor, I could have put this book up now, but I agree with some of the philosophy of money coming, and some of it I don't. Right? Some of it I don't. Some of it I agree about, but some of it I don't, because I think the church took this book by teaching this to the church, but then I found out it was other principles you had to apply. So Pastor Kevin Payne from Mississippi, I love it when Mississippi is on. He's watching, and Facebook. I'm always about helping pastors and helping the church financially, because and Pastor, I don't know if you know, but we always have credit church, what I call credit church, usually on Sundays, right? So it's my pleasure to have you to join the live stream. Mr. I cannot pronounce your name, so I just call you King, which you are. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate it. And let me share this video with you all, because it's really going to change your paradigm, I think, about how to use credit to invest, to get a greater rate on your return, and the dip in debt. Now, sometimes Robert Kiyosaki he says use debt. I say use credit, right? Same thing, we just have a different philosophy. We are a different name for it, right? A different vocabulary. So let me share this video clip with you all so my people can get on the team training or the team call. And then, and you all don't think I'm hypocritical. I just want to share this message tonight because I had a conversation and my friend encouraged me to go live. I really wasn't even going to live stream, right? Jesus said he liked credit better. Thank you. But he encouraged me too, so I decided to go live because I was a little fatigued today. I had some very challenging credit thing, but I got it done. A queen got it done, right? You can't be a queen if you don't want to bear the weight of the crown, right? So as my college coach used to tell me, you got to do what you got to do. So here we go.
Problem that people have in their minds when it comes to the way they've been taught and kind of like how they think about financial education as a whole.
That's Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a story about my two fathers. My poor dad was a school teacher, very smart man. And my rich dad never went to school. And so the information, so starting at the age of 9, growing up in Hawaii, the information was different. The advice was different. So I think most of your viewers out there is sitting inside their head are the words from their mother and father. Go to school, get a job, pay taxes, save money, buy a house because it's an asset, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That creates poor people. It's a hypnosis train going through your brain. So when people say, how do I change my life? Well, you change those words. I wouldn't go to school because you learn nothing about money.
All right, so he said, how do you change your life? He said you change your words. Because I had a pastor on, in the Bible, right, it quotes, the word becomes flesh, or life and death is in the power of your tongue. And so there is a step you have to do. Like I talk about the book Money Cometh, and a lot of Christians just used to start shouting and proclaiming this, but it takes a financial education to get fully into this, right? So tonight's live stream is to challenge your thinking, your paradigm, what you've been taught. Is not, and he's giving a $20 super chat. I will answer questions, but I come here to challenge you, because if what you're doing works, then why are you still living paycheck to paycheck? Right? So I come to challenge everything that you thought probably was true of what you've been taught about money, right? About money.
School. I wouldn't get a job because if I have a job, I'm an employee. And then I pay taxes.
All right, let's pause right there. It's not about being an employee. Why he don't want to get a job. He doesn't want to get a job because he's going to be in the highest tax bracket as an employee. I'm going to have to break this down because this is not your traditional broadcast, right? You all just saw my Facebook post the promotion, and I get $500 a month to purchase a new vehicle if I want to. But I will never use that money for that, not knowing what I know now, because new vehicles are depreciating assets, right? I'm not saying I may not get another vehicle, but my move now would be to get a vehicle that's leased so that I can have the tax deductions, right? And I don't pay the depreciation costs. So again, this is to challenge your thinking, no right or wrong way, but just to challenge your thinking and to give you true financial education, because you're not taught this in school.
And I don't save money. And I use debt to get rich.
He doesn't save money, and he used debt, what I call credit, to get rich. And this is what the poor middle class do not understand, or the poor working middle class, let me say it that way.
And I don't invest in the stock market. That's why I'm rich.
And he don't invest in the stock market. That's why he's rich.
And so the young people who are listening right now are saying, but that's what my mom and dad said. But that's what mom and dad say all over the world. So to the young people, I just say challenge or question what you've been taught. Because from the Bible, I'm not religious, the word becomes flesh. So if you say, go to school, they say, but I learned nothing about money. Get a job, you become an employee. If you're an employee, you work for money. I pay taxes. Then they tell you to save money. Why would you save money when the government's printing money? and get out of debt. Well, debt is money.
I hope. So he's saying, why would you save money? We're going to discuss all of this when it's finished. When the government is printing money, and he said, get out of debt. And he says, debt is money, right? I promise you, I'm going to break all of this down when it's finished.
Most people use debt to get poor and invest in the stock market. I don't invest in the stock market. So when you wonder why so many people struggle financially, is they haven't challenged the hypnosis, the words, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get paid taxes. Until you question those hypnotic trances, you don't change. So when I was a little boy, I had poor dad and rich dad, saying,
in your head.
He's saying, go to school. My rich dad goes, what a waste of time that is,
Right.
And the way my rich dad taught me is just playing Monopoly. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. I learned about money. I learned to be a capitalist, not an employee. I don't pay taxes. I use debt for money.
Oh, he learned to be a capitalist, not an employee. He doesn't pay taxes. He used debt for money. I'm gonna explain all of this, right?
And I don't invest in the stock market. And when I say that to adults, they get angry at me. So, well, that's what I've done. I said, well, that's why you're poor. But when I said to young people, you have a chance yet. You have a chance. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying question the hypnotic trance put in your head, because that's what keeps people poor.
And I think that's the advantage young people have, and you know that, because they haven't been brainwashed.
Well, they have been brainwashed, but they have a chance to change the brainwashing.
They don't need to deny 30 years of their life.
Correct.
Because if you've been doing a job, it's like if you're doing all those things, and now Robert is going to say this, then I either can deny that or deny 30 years of my life. So it's a big, big problem. Right?
Yeah, the old guys like me, they get angry at me. So I've done that all my life. I said, yeah, that's why you're poor.
Yeah.
And they go, and they get angry at me when the economy doesn't exist out here. The economy exists in here.
Yeah.
And until you change the words become flesh. If you get a job, you're an employee. If you save money, you're a saver. And why would you save money when they're printing money?
Okay, I'm gonna pause there. I'm gonna ask you all to put in the comments what you think the answer is when he says, why would you save money? And now they're printing now more than ever, right? When they're printing money, why do you think he asked that question? Remember now, I'm a public school teacher. Well, I teach in the public schools, right? Surrounded by teaching in the public school. Why do you think he's asking that question? Why would you save money when they are printing it?
And they say invest in the stock market for your pension. Well, why would you do that? Because that's how they get your money. And get out of debt when guys like me are using debt as money. So question it. That's all I'm saying.
So, and you're saying, I think it's in your book, you said when you accept, your rich dad told you, when you accept a paycheck, your brain is dead, or you stop thinking. And I think that's very powerful to people. So what do you think about that?
Well, money is a powerful force, as you know. So when I was 9 years old, growing up in Hawaii, I asked my rich dad to be my teacher, my mentor, be an apprentice to him. He says, then I'll never pay you. He says, if I pay you, you think like an employee. And wait a minute. So I have to think differently. And that's what I'm challenging the millennials right now is, you have a chance yet. Don't wait till you're an old guy like me to find out my pension is gone. See, right now in America, Wall Street is robbing the pension funds of the school teachers, the firefighter, and police officers. So there's going to be millions of people like me, my age, who they got a job, they work hard, they save money, they got out of debt, and they put the money in a pension plan, and it's all gone.
So what do you think are some of those?
I laugh, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah. And for those people, it's very unfortunate. And they think their government and the system has their back, but that's definitely not the case. It couldn't be further from the case, right?
You got it.
And
you're being screwed.
Yeah.
And it starts by going to school.
Yeah.
And your parents tell you to go to school.
Yeah.
And my rich dad said, what are you going to learn in school? About money. I mean, you can learn to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you learn nothing about money.
So what do you think are some of those right beliefs to have? Some of the right beliefs to have about money, about the way you create wealth, about the way you actually create the life you want? What would be some of the right ones? We know the bad ones. Go to school, get a job, all these things.
That's not right or wrong. You see, most people should be employees.
Okay.
Because most people, it's easier to be an employee. Like when I flew for the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and my poor dad wanted me to become an airline pilot. Just go fly for the airlines. I said, no, I can do that. I can already fly.
Yeah.
Why would I fly for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
You know, he said, but you love flying. I said, yeah, but I don't want to fly for the rest of my life. I just wanted a bigger challenge. And a bigger challenge would be to be an entrepreneur, because I'd have to learn new things. I'd have to learn 10 times more than ever than being a pilot. So for me, it was right for me to become an entrepreneur because I was really interested in learning about money and business and economics and all this. But most employees aren't. So for most people who are employees, they should get a job, work hard, save money, pay your taxes and all that. But entrepreneurs don't pay taxes. We don't save money. We use debt as money. And everything's different. And I don't invest in the stock market. But I had to pay the price, which was get my own education, not the stuff they teach you in school.
So how do you know that you're meant to be an entrepreneur? Is there something that you need to feel? Is there something that you need to do? It can be trained to anybody. Like you said, not everybody needs it. Some people are meant to be employees and want to do that, actually. They don't want to.
Most people want to be employees.
Right.
They want the paycheck and they want the pension. They want security. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But many people today don't have that choice. You know, if you lose your job, like my poor dad eventually lost his job. And then he realized going to school, getting a job didn't help him, a PhD. He didn't have the skills for the world. He stepped out of the academic world and onto the streets. The cats ate him alive out there. Most school teachers cannot survive in the real world. Not in my world, because they don't have the mental strength, spiritual strength, emotional strength, or the education to sustain the battles of being an entrepreneur. I have international businesses, thousands.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna pause, do some Q&A. One thing he said was, why would you save money? I was waiting on you all to fill in the comments to answer that. Why would you save money when if you know anything about who they are, that's the feds. The Fed is a different entity than the government. It's not the same. And many people think that it's, I don't know, honorable to pay taxes, right? I'm paying taxes. We need better schools, better roads. But that's in actuality handled by your state taxes, right? Not your federal taxes that you're taxed out of. And so just some, I thought I shared on my Facebook, some articles that I read today or that I shared today is that the dollar is quickly depreciating, right? Okay, I found that article. I shared it with you. Let me share that article. Still waiting on my scholars in the room to give the answer. The question is, why did Robert Kiyosaki say you should not save money because they are printing it? I'm still waiting on some answers, right? Still waiting on some answers as I share this article with you all. Dollar moves a new signal era of weakness for currency as gold gains. After gaining initially as a safe haven in the pandemic, the US dollar is getting clobbered against global currency as the virus spread continues in the US and investors worry America will lag the global economy. The dollar may be also paying the price for the growing United States or US deficits, which will have to be paid for more, and treasury debt. The dollar index is on track for its biggest 1 month decline, people, since 2011. Decline. So the world's reserve currency benefited a big way from a flight to safety, which drove a 3.5-year high in March. As the virus pandemic spread to the U.S., now the world's focus has shifted back to fundamentals, and the dollar has rapidly slumped at a 2-year low. So many people do not know that the dollar depreciates, right? Many people do not know that the dollar depreciates. Here's some more interesting article for you, another fact. Okay, I see some comments. I'm going to read this one or share this article with you as well. King dollar declines rapidly across the globe. Hold on, I think I clicked on the wrong. Rapidly across the globe, an accelerating decline, and this is dated July 28, 2020, up-to-date current articles. An accelerating decline in the U.S. dollar is reverberating across the world, adding fuel to the global momentum rally that has boosted prices from everything from technology stocks to gold. The U.S. dollar USD, which measures the greenback against 6 other currencies, is down around 9%. 9% from March highs, and is on track for the worst month again since 2011, pressured in part by expectations that the U.S. would take a bigger hit to growth than other economies from the corona pandemic. Because of the dollar's central role in the global economy, a sustained sell-off in the greenback could borrow a broad market rally-driven expectations of continuous economic stimulus from the world's central banks. As far as the time for the dollar weakness will likely be unwelcome development for economies such as Europe and Japan, as their rising currencies threaten weigh on the growth and efforts to spark inflation. The dollar is down 3% year to date after rising for each of the last 2 years. The greenback slid about 10% in 2017. So let me make this simple for you. What it means is your dollar is now able to buy less. The dollar is able to buy less. So Robert Kiyosaki is saying, why would you save this in the bank? Cash is the lowest yield asset. You get no interest on it to help you with rising prices and inflation, right? Inflation is when prices rise and the dollar is deflating and is able to buy less. So he's saying, why are you saving dollars? And I'm going to tell you, I don't mean any harm, but Dave Ramsey philosophy has been the biggest one to keep people living paycheck to paycheck than anyone that I ever known. Because he says, now, and when I take that back, maybe people do need discipline, but I think education helps first. You can't discipline an uneducated person until they have the knowledge, right? So I see some questions that's saying, thank you all so much for the comments. They can print it faster than you can earn it. And what that means is the more that's printed, the less you can purchase, right? I like using alliterations. I like, so the more that's printed, the less you can purchase. I like making complex things as simple as I can because I know you don't learn this in school. This is like Greek to you. You've always been taught to save for a rainy what? It's already, as Robert Kiyosaki said, you already been brainwashed. It's already hypnotic. Save for a rainy day, right? Less than 1 out of 4 Americans have $400 in their saving accounts for emergencies, right? But on the other side, there are some people who need that disciplinary because even though prices are increasing, right? Exactly. And the dollar is buying less, it still buys things, right? Your groceries. Now, this is what I tell people about credit. I tell them, okay, so you believe that you should cut up your credit cards. That's fine. But if you use a cashback card that will pay you 3% cash back for purchasing those goods, the same way that you would make that purchase with cash, you would be at an advantage, because it's not that you can purchase more, right, with a credit card. If you go to a grocery store and you have $100 bill and you say, this is my limit for groceries, you go with that same mindset, but you have a cashback rewards credit card and you still spend within that budget, right? It's not that Robert Kiyosaki do not believe in budgeting. He teaches about budgeting, how to budget your money. But now you're getting a 3% return by using a credit card that pays cash back. But somebody taught you that credit was evil. And for a lot of people, it's just taboo, especially for minorities. They don't talk about it. The first thing you hear when you go to college is, don't get any credit cards. But have you ever asked yourself this question, right? I love teaching. I promise you I love teaching this topic. And I love coaching and teaching basketball to young ladies too. But have you ever thought this? Why is it easier for me to get thousands of student loan debt versus getting thousands for business credit? I'm going to sip on that and let you all think. I have some Mississippi unsweet tea from Sonic, unsweet strawberry tea from Mississippi. So let me read this comment. The more money printing or currency, should we say, the less value. So why save as opposed to storing it? Exactly. And appreciating assets. Right? I always keep the currency amount in your checking accounts to pay your bills and your rent and your mortgage. But a better way to fight inflation, if you were to use a credit card like you would a debit card, they give you cashback rewards on all your purchases. Because at this point, at least you're shaving the percentage. When you use cash, you don't get any incentive back. So someone says, so you invested instead, it grows opposed to sitting in the bank, barely do anything, grow your money. Well, the key is to convert your cash into real assets. As Mo said, gold and silver is real money. Now, this is the issue that most people have with gold and silver. Number one, it's real money, but people have in their mind, well, if it's real money, why can't I go to a grocery store or a cash register, right, and make a purchase for goods or food with real money? Well, this is something that they kept hidden from you. It is constitutional. And in 1971, your printed cash or currency notified you that gold and silver was real money up to 1971. And this is what, now I was born in 1978, right? So this is what printed currency used to read. See that? $1 silver. You can redeem this for the silver. It was just a lighter way to carry it. And then a $20 bill would look as such. And it would say in gold coin, $20, right? And so it was understood that at any time I carried these, I can go retrieve the real money. So an event happened. Spain didn't want United States dollars anymore. So they sent their warships and they said, you know what, we want our gold. You all can have your dollars back, your currency. We don't want it. We want the money. And so they came on a ship. They was coming on warships, and which made the travel process longer, right? I always tell this story all the time. I ask, and you go to the pawn shop and get this education because they sell gold and silver, right? Your local pawn shop. If you have the right employees that have this knowledge. And I asked the employee one time, I said, well, why didn't they just fly over? They could have got here quicker before he made that into law and changed it. And they said, well, ma'am, if they would have flew on a plane, they couldn't fly the gold back on the plane. So they had to come in a warship. Right. Oh, duh, you know. And so in order to keep the real money, that's what President Nixon have to do. And shortly after he resigned, right? I think, is he the only president to resign? But constitutional, it still is in law that is real money, right? Many people don't know that. And so whenever a lot of cash or currency is printed out, like through these stimulus, more people have it, right? We have the king of debt as our president. And whenever this happens, he becomes richer and wealthier. So does his CEO friends of Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, et cetera, right? So he knows that, you know what, we know what the real wealth is. So we'll continue to give this stimulus out. But the consequences behind it is not only does cash or doing that cause inflation, which is the rising of prices, which devalues the dollar, right? Devalues the dollar, but it also raises your taxes. So when Robert Kiyosaki says, I will never be an employee, he's saying because I will never spend my hard-earned time, money, and labor only to get 60% of my pay. I want you all to put this, whether you're watching this live in a replay, and I know this, I'm trying to keep this under a while. My friend may tell me, Tanya, you went too long, but I'm going to tell him I had to try to teach. Is this. You got to know the difference between a W-2 person being taxed and a 1099 tax bracket and an investor's tax bracket, right? So let me read some comments as I allow you all to ponder on it. Okay. Money is a debt instrument. It's only medium of exchange with no real value. Right. It has, and money by the Constitution has to have intrinsic value. Money doesn't have value unless it can return to you food, goods, and services. Other than that, like gold and silver has been around for 5,000 years, right? Paper cannot last. As a matter of fact, the longest printed money has lasted is usually a time span of 50 years. I want you all to catch this. 50 years before the system has to be reset. Now, if President Nixon remove the dollar for being able to retrieve it for real money, gold and silver in 1971, what year would be a 50-year time period from that? Just add 50 plus 1971, right? And so what I guess, what word I want to use? The timing of this health pandemic, right, seems to be perfect when the economy is about to collapse anyway, don't you think? Isn't it just coincident, I guess, that a worldwide virus came along the same time it was scheduled that the biggest economic crash this generation will ever seen will be experienced? You know, what was this old TV show that said things that make you go, And I can talk about this some more, but hydrochlorine, vitamin D, other countries are doing it, seeing less things. When you increase the Wi-Fi in the area, the human body is going to affect when you upgrade your 5G radioactive waves. So you have to do things to build your immunity, right? So it may look and appear as a virus, but is your body reacting to stronger Wi-Fi that's being created for artificial intelligence to power a more digitalized money system, right? And so, yes, it's real in the sense that your body may be feeling the after effects of it. But what may not be as real is that a mask or Germ-X is the preventive measure that you should take. So this is just, word of advice. Build your immunity, take vitamin D. And I wear certain crystals that helps with radioactive waves as well. So Carissa said Dave Ramsey, his YouTube channel, straight live, telling people cover your credit cards. Meanwhile, he's on fear of them. And you know what about Dave? He accepts credit card as payments for his products. But what about just teaching people how to use credit cards? Right? Credit cards are great tools because, first of all, you can get a lot of them at 0% interest. And you can purchase real assets with. I come on the live stream all the time and say you can purchase real gold and silver. And why do you want to purchase that? Let me show you all. Because whenever the dollar value goes down, gold and silver goes up. And why is that? So some of you all have been following my live stream. So before I answer, right, I want you to answer this. Why, when more dollars is printed, when more stimulus checks are given into the economy, why does that increases the price of gold? And I'm going to let you all answer that as I share this article with you. And I'm telling people, I come on my live stream because history is being made. People, this is going to be either the biggest wealth transfer you can be a part of or the biggest welfare transfer you're going to be a part of. It's all about your financial education and deprogramming what you've been taught or questioning, right? Everything you've been taught about money, credit, debt, and your job. Look at this. Gold prices, 100-year historical high. Gold prices back at, it's gold prices per ounce back to 1915. The series is deflated using the headline Consumer Price Index. The current month is updated on an hourly basis. The current price of gold as of July 28, 2020 is $1,931 per ounce. What makes that a big deal? Because historically, it's the highest it's ever been. We reached a peak at, well, no, it's not ever been, but since 1980, it reached its peak at 2000. Let me get this chart. 2005. So it's saying right now it's back on pace to reach that higher peak. So let me share another article with you. And most people are predicting that it's going to be maybe up to $5,000 before the year is out. And anxious investors are pushing gold prices to all-time highs. Gold prices continued their, I don't know, I can't look, big word, as we say in the school system, run on Wednesday, rallying yet again to hit an all-time high above $1,950 per ounce. A new record of above 2,000 seems inevitable.
The glory of the immortal.
I can't see what that was.
To the Incas, it was the...
I got some audio videos coming on. But its previous records, $1,921 set in 2011. Listen, it now has gained about 27% so far, whereas the dollar has lost about 10% so far.
Homer called it the glory of the immortals.
Get this to cut off. Okay. Silver also got a boost, climbing more than 6% to reach $24.21. Gold is clearly a beneficiary safe haven. Demand, Chief Global's market acts, the UBS expect gold to reach $2,000 before the end of the year, driven higher by the U.S. interest rate. Listen to this, a weaker dollar and tensions between the United States and China. Gold soars to record high. So how does a weakening dollar, why does that help gold? Right? Why does that help gold? King James, you're absolutely right. It's God's money. I've also, Robert Kiyosaki philosophy on gold, that is spiritual money, said if you have true gold around you or wear it, I wonder if Mr. T still has his gold, right? That it's an attraction of money to you. So he believes it's too standard. So Mo SVMS as gold standard was removed from the dollar. Right. And so whenever there's a economic relapse, because gold and silver by the U.S. Constitution is real money, it has to be used to reset the accounting system for the United States government. And when you purchase gold and silver for any website, you cannot be taxed on it as such. And that was another reason why they wanted printed currency, right? Because you can be taxed on the dollar because they wrote on there that this is an IOU. It's a note. It's a Federal Reserve note to pay all legal tenders, right? All debts. So they can tax your labor on the dollar. Gold and silver, God's money, cannot be taxed because the feds cannot print it. But when the feds print it, they can do what they want and they can apply tax to you. So why do they want to apply taxes to it, right? You might be saying, Queen, why would they want to apply taxes? Because they're only getting back from me that fiat currency. They're getting cash back, right? Do you all think that? Do you all think that? Like, well, they're getting cash back, right? So why would they want to tax me? They're getting back in return this depreciating asset, because cash is an asset now. It can purchase goods and services. As of right now, it can. They're stating that their coins are a shortage, so everything may not be digitalized. But as of right now, you can go into cash or cash, store and purchase things with cash, right? Okay, Gwen says she's trying to get her credit score high like that. Marvin says exactly, never let a good crisis go to waste. Jesus says because the value of currency depreciates. Yeah, wealth transfer. It's the wealth. Look, I want everybody, whether you're watching this live in the replay, I want you to put either wealth transfer or welfare transfer, right? Wealth or welfare transfer. I want you to get it. It's not going to be middle class. You're either going to be rich or poor by the time that this thing hits, because it's globally. They're making it global. It's just not going to be United States. It's just not going to be the 2008 housing market crash. No, it's going to be a combination of mortgage crashing, a combination of student loan debts that can't be repaid crashing, a combination of high unemployment, a high loss of jobs. Already corporations are filing bankruptcy. This is going to mix everything together in one big ugly bubble. Well, President Trump, I always say that we're in a big, fat, ugly bubble. He was right when he was saying that 3-4 years ago upon his election. It's going to be a stock market crash as well. As Robert Kiyosaki is saying that people that have 401ks is going to crash. I, through the public school system, have a pension. And for example, do you all know that they are paying less in pensions because they're saying pensions are connected to the stock market? And as a public school teacher, you know what I don't like about pensions? We have no say-so or control over it. We go to work every day. They're going to take out the amount they want to take out. And I call my retirement system. I said, do I have any say-so of what investment my pension's in? Now, this is my hard work, right? They said, no, you can't decide what we invest with your pensions, because I would have, as we're moving into a physical gold backing commodity. I said, no, you don't have any say so. So I don't have any say so how much is taken out, how it's invested. And then if I pull something out, or pull a amount out, I'm taxed so heavily that I only get a fourth of what I put in my time, hours, and labor to get. Doesn't that sound like economic slavery? Right? So Martin says the rich and wealthy invest in gold and silver to protect their wealth and security, since gold, silver is real money. Murtis, hey Murtis, it's my friend. I have a secure credit card. Can I use it to buy gold and silver? Now this is what I want to tell you. Or should I apply for cash? This is what I want to tell you all. Do it if you can afford it, right? If this is more so for people that just have cash, and you know that if your job was taken away or you was unemployable, that you could survive and pay your mortgage up to maybe a year, right? Until unemployment comes. And you can pay your bills and survive to up to a year. And so once you have that reserve set in place, then you may can invest. So I would, Murdis, get your credit up and apply for a cashback. Yeah. It's just, I don't like giving financial advice, but this is what I would do if I were you, because I know you personally, right? Let me see if anyone. Yes, FII has serial numbers, which is taxed by your social security numbers. That's a great comment. And that's why I tell people you want to be taxed under an EIN and not your social. If you can find that gold, let me know. I'm hearing that it's harder to buy gold on the internet, online right now. Okay. Thank you. Wealth transfer. You all saying you want to be in the wealth transfer. That's good. Redistribution of wealth transfer. Yeah, 401ks and pensions crash is going to be included. Thank you. Wealth transfer, or the welfare transfer. There's only two options. Window, I see you. I did. I just read your text. When I get off my live stream, I'll text it to you. I think I have your email address, right? Let me see if I had your email address already in my system. Yeah, I have your email address. So when I get off my live stream window, I send it to you. Yep, choose this day. I cannot, if I work, I cannot, in Mississippi now, I don't know how it is in other states, cannot opt out of your pension. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. I have no say-so on how much is taken out or how much is invested. And then if I pull it out, right, before my retirement and I don't receive the monthly payments, I'm so heavily taxed that I've lost half of my working years that was put into it to invest in it. So that's why many teachers in particular elect to have the monthly payout. But then you see many teachers with second jobs right after retirement because their pension is not enough. And it never will be enough when you have inflation and taxes. Their monthly pay is never enough. Actually, the monthly pay is often lower than the working pay for pensions. This is, me speaking from Mississippi. I don't know, some other states may have better pension plan. The right to enjoy and use advantage of another person's shut is your labor. And then I'm gonna pause right there. See, it's not that they want their fiat, their cash back. They don't want that. They want to always have you hustling backwards. They know that if I can tax this person, right, 30 to 40%, they only going to take home 60%. Then I have the right to control the pricing of the products that they have to buy, the essential needs, essential items. Another 3 or 5%, they will never get ahead. And getting a second job will not help because I'll tax them on that job too. That's why Robert Kiyosaki said, I don't want to be an employee because I'm not going to get taxed. I'm not going to always bring home 55% of a paycheck. So that's why Sushu not going to help you. That's why I can't think of the other one. It's called another one. Sushu, I posted on my Facebook. Let me see, can I find it? It's another one too. That's why it's not going to help you. That one gift, you're saying, well, you don't have to report it to the IRS if I get that payout. You still can't beat inflation. You're still not going to beat the prices. And you know what? Things like sushi is going to come to an end because pretty soon we're going to be on digitalized currency. So cash gifts, birthday cards, all of that is going to be excluded. They're going to make sure you can be taxed on everything. So Ponzi schemes like sushi is coming to an end. Oh, I found it. It's called Compass. Compass. So I put a post on my Facebook. When your Compass lose its money direction, I got credit and cash flow for you. The Compass thing, something like the sushi. So you are human labor, human resource to the IRS and feds. And if, like I said, how to stick it to the IRS, how to escape out the rat race, you really know you're making somebody else wealthy, somebody else family wealthy, not yours, not your family. Look, I just turned to it. It's right here in this book. Internet home-based business. Make sure. Network marketing. Multi-level. How to escape the rat race and live the life you dream. Why? It's also, let me see. I hope I can just turn to it here. I have my dog ears. Yep, here it is. How to use a home-based business, a second book. Or second book that I invested in. All the tax deductions. About the Internal Revenue Service, right? How to use to stick it to them. So that's why I'm not sushi and flower gifting and Compass. Because what are you going to do? You still got to fight inflation. You're still using a depreciating asset. And cash is still an asset, right? Not saying it's not an asset. It's just a very low yielding asset, right? So that's why the rich and wealthy understand that, as Robert Kiyosaki calls it, debt, I call it credit, that you must use debt and credit to invest. Why is that? Because debt is not taxed. When you take out a loan, that is not taxed. When you use a credit card, and you can get cash back, right? That's not taxed. Yep, taxes is hustling back. Now, I have some people say, well, Queen, that's not tax, but I have to pay interest on it. Number one, you do if you have bad credit. I have 0% interest cards all day. SBA loans are 3.75% interest. So what bigger interest are you paying? 30, 40% tax? Or if you have an LLC, or sole proprietor, or you're a specialist, a doctor, a lawyer, what he was talking about, you get taxed in the higher. What's the biggest percentages? I tell people all the time, cash is taxed too. It's called taxes. Right? Yeah, Mark said he liked it when I use the phrase that credit cards are my business partners. They are my investors. They're my business partners. So they don't want you to know that gold and silver is real money. And that's why when the dollar devaluates, it has to increase because it resets the gold system. The currency system for the United States. Now, other countries, gold and silver is taxed on the purchase. I think like in the AU, it is taxed because it's not in their constitution. But I found the fathers put it in our constitution. Right? J.P. Morgan, the biggest owner of J.P. Morgan Bank, said gold and silver is real money. Everything else is just credit. And speaking of that, did you all know that J.P. Morgan, when you have those Chase banks, J.P. Morgan recently purchased 350 in 2011, since 2011, 350 million hoarded 350 million, right, ounces of silver, not gold, but silver. JP Morgan Bank hoarded. And so the Department of Justice, which that is supposed to have a judgment on it this year, right? I'm telling you, this is either the wealth transfer or the welfare transfer. Everything is happening in alignment, but you have to be educated and informed. So the Department of Justice is making a judgment against JP Morgan 2020 because they hoarded all the silver, and which suppressed or kept the price of silver at low. But that's why it's predicted that silver is going to explode. Testifying in Congress in 1912. I had him under oath, and he said, look, gold is money. Everything, including your cash, is credit. You're just taxed high with cash and forms of taxes. So let me read some comments. Wealth transfer, right? Being an employee should be temporary until, yes, and I tell people you need to be an employee and an entrepreneur at the same time. I am, right? I get taxed on this side, but I still teach and coach because, I mean, that's what I love. I'm even looking at some bills now to invest in to look at during this crisis of having an academic and athletic program, because many other schools will have to do virtual learning, or students or kids. And so I think this will be a great time to do, independent education on my own. And speaking of that, let me go into this. I mean, unless where can you buy gold nowadays? You can buy it online. You can buy them online. One person I really like and I really follow is Mike Maloney website at goldsilver.com. But I don't think, let's look on their website. They may not have any available, not gold. I think some silver is still available. Someone came on one of my live streams and said AmpMex were saying they were no longer selling silver. But right now, gold has reached its peak. You have to pay $2,000. You can get the same return on investing in silver. Because like I said, silver has twofold. It's both industrial and monetary. So I would highly suggest for the middle class, silver will be your best investment right now. The highest silver was in 2011 was $50 an ounce. But with the convictions from the Department of Justice against JP Morgan set to file this year, there will be shortage driving silver to new highs. Like, for example, this 500 Silver Eagle, I looked on this website Saturday, it was 16,000. Now he's 17,758. But his same package Saturday was in the 16,000. So that's just a couple of days. So you're going to use silver for things like Tesla, also calculators, catalytic converters, RFID chips, a big thing going into this, new vaccine and new world order of, people having chips implanted within them. And a good reason about silver, because again, it's twofold. It's monetary and industrial use. People, it's going to be used for 5G, to power 5G technology, silver and phone batteries. And so that's why I made my silver stacking report available for you all on my website for a small investment of $35, so you can know what silver to invest in. You can know which ones that you don't have to have a 1099-B form to turn into the IRS. And what that means is once you sell it back for any gains, you don't have to pay, you don't have to be taxed or turn in anything to the IRS. And so I have a list of 10 physical coins and 7 mining stocks, right? You just select buy now. It tells you where 3 more websites available to purchase, and which ones that do not have to report to the IRS with a 1099-B form. And it gives you 3 websites that, copper is good to wear. I have copper too, in my Tourmaline to help against radiation of 5G. Yes, cash is taxed twice against taxes and inflation. Oline, you're right on it. Where said order. Marvin said, yep, JP Morgan did. Gwen, you can. That's fine. But just make sure when you purchase that, because I have so many issues with PayPal, I went to Cash App, that in the notes, put your email address, please. I have, I think, at least 5 or 6 people that purchased it. And I'm just waiting on them to reach out to me at this point. Like, William, I'll get yours when I finish the live stream. But they didn't enter their email address and I don't have it. So I don't know, where to email it. So I'm just waiting on them to either send me a message or send me a text and let me know. Amari, let me see. That's why I made sure I had my phones in front of me, because I figured somebody would, ask me. And you're one of the ones that I don't have any email address in for. Just got that purchase. So I don't know where to email it to, hon. So email me at ld@fixmycredit and cash.com. That's my email address. Put Silver Stacking Report in the message of the email, and Amari Brown in the contents of it, and I will email it to you when I get out this live stream. So I just need your email address for that. Okay, so you did email me? Okay, so I'll check when I get out this live stream. So now the second part, why people are more conditioned to, besides not having that financial knowledge of what real access is, right? Most people, the most they do with their credit is purchase a home or an apartment, or get approved for an apartment or some type of dwelling place, to get approved for somewhere to live, apartment, condo, or purchase a home. And then after that, they buy vehicles, a number one depreciating asset. But if you're in the home-based business, using your vehicle for business use is more advantageous or advantage to you in the home-based business, because you can travel abroad. You have no confinements of traveling just within your state if you have a brick and mortar business. See, if I decide to do an LLC, right, or S corporation or a C corp, and I'm doing Queens landscaping designs, or Queens heating and cooling, HVAC. See, the context of what my vehicle can travel for business use is in the state that I'm using, right? I'm traveling to my clients and my customers. With home-based business, you can travel anywhere in your state. You can have more business mileage, because more business purposes, because you have those restraints, because although you work in your home, you're not confined to the home to do business. You can travel to somebody else's home. You can travel to Hawaii and then set up a business meeting or conference there for people in your home-based business. And home-based businesses are a cheaper investment to invest in to start versus LLCs, S Corp, and C Corp. Now, this is where a lot of, I think, not myth, but misunderstanding comes in, is that people will broadcast who needs an EIN and an LLC to get business credit, right? Now, those are good to have for those purposes, but you get more tax deductions after home-based business, right? But if you want to, I'm not against it, right? I have credit repair. So I'm a corporation. I'm not an LLC, right? LLC is limited liability anyway, which means you don't have full coverage in event that someone wants to sue you, or you did a job and a rock hit a glass while you was mowing the lawn, et cetera, et cetera. LLCs are limited liability companies, right? That's why I have the book Run Your Own Corporation. Let me know. And so when people just get LLCs for maybe $99 or $200, they don't even know if their operating agreements are in alignment for protection. Because what good is business credit or having a $50,000 credit card if someone has open exposure to sue you? It's even if you want to be a landlord, having an LLC, an operation agreement, is not protection against lawsuit and being sued as a landlord. So at that point, you need insurance. You need to invest in insurance if you're going to own real estate. Now, once you get 5 and above of real estate properties, that's the point in which you will want to get an LLC. But at 1, 2 rental properties, you need insurance protection. Run Your Corporation. This is another Rich Dad advisor, Garrett Sutton. He's the author, right? And so you're welcome, Amari Brown. And so even with the LLC and EIN, you still gonna need your personal credit to get. And I'm gonna sip when I say this. You like what I say, Kay? Sip when I say this. Even with the LLC and the EIN, you're gonna have to use your personal credit to be guaranteed. Looking right in the camera as I sip on this Mississippi tea, unsweet tea, as a matter of fact. Yeah, you're gonna need SBA loans, $150,000, $40,000 payouts. People getting $50,000. They needed their personal credit. Personal credit for approval. Personal credit for business approval. Right? Now, some people say, well, what about tier 1 business credit cards? Those are just company cards, like a Lowe's card, a Home Depot cards. You want the big boys, Visa, MasterCard, Discover. Personal credit gonna have to be intact. Now, so how does the school system, other than, this is another thing I like to share with people. Let me see. How does the school system no, I don't want to use that word because I'm a teacher in the school system. Stunts, right? Let's say that. Stunt creative thinking, right? You all may not know this, but I went to, I thought I wanted to be a school principal, right? So I went to administrative and leadership class, and Jesus said he wants to go to Sonic and get some tea. And I found out in that class that schools are really supposed to be ran like a business, right? You have team meetings like Steve Jobs and Apple, with your teachers, your employees. You get their insight, their input of direction, the function of the school. You get a vision, get a mission statement. Where do we want to go? Are we, producing? And a lot of times in the school system, you have meetings, but it's not on those levels, right? It's not on those levels. And then I found this interesting information that in 1903, right? The other one was 1912, J.P. Morgan. testify that gold is real money, everything else is credit. You wonder, like, why don't I know this in school? Why I don't learn about credit and money in school? I had someone tell me they had 2 master's degrees, and I was able to fix my credit. It took me about a year. I was off work due to the pandemic, and I only had 6 negative accounts. And I said, you know what? It would have taken me 30 days. And what people don't understand, their number one asset, right? We talk about gold and silver, but your other the number one asset that people don't realize is your time, right? But, that may be what that person wanted to put their time into. The rich and wealthy people, they file bankruptcy if needed. Oftentimes they get to the point where they don't need their FICO score. Their cash becomes leverage, right? Means that they don't even need their FICO score. They don't need that 3-digit. But if you're the poor working class, you have to start with your FICO score, right? So if they needed it, they would pay someone $5,000 to $6,000. Look, I just filed bankruptcy to get it off my credit report. But what the poor and middle class would do is spend years and months researching, and then their mind can't think of creative investing opportunities, right? Or they'll spend 2 or 3 years and still can't get that 10-year Chapter 7 bankruptcy to lead out their credit report. Then they find a specialist. But you've wasted 2 or 3 years. And I know bankruptcies are difficult because I've got some people bankruptcy deleted in 30 days. Some people work with me for an entire year. So this is John D. Rockefeller quote, another one of our founding with Henry Ford and J.P. Morgan, rich, wealthy patriots, right? Says, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. So what did he do to produce that? He created the General Board of Education in 1903. And he put money into education, right? And he said, this is how I want you all to teach them. And this is what I want you all to teach them. And it's been that way since 1903. I want the students or the children's left side of their brain activated. And when I began to read this book, and I'm going back to that principalship class that I was in, and I began to ask my teachers in the room, I said, how many of you all teach to the right side of your student's brain in the classroom? We all had to select a topic of discussion, And they had no idea what I was talking about. What do you mean? We teach the whole child. We teach the whole student, right? And no, that's what I said, but do you teach the whole brain? Do you teach the whole brain? And it was in this book that I recognized discovered what a left brain and right brain learning style consists of. Dr. Juwanzi Kunjufu. He says right brain learning assists of cooperative learning, builds self-esteem, improve test scores, reduces disciplinary problems, an environment where students are expected and insisted to do well. They're not graded by worksheets, digital worksheets. They're not social or individual based. They work in groups. And they can at the same time or simultaneously ask questions, right? A choral response, so that everyone remains alert in the classroom. So it's a team learning approach, right? Based on students' ability. And so I would ask, and I had to research. I went and researched or visited 2 classrooms, right? One classroom was students sitting in desks, individual work, read and regurgitate, read books, Answer the questions, fill in the blank, ABC, circle the answer. And those students were often low performing students, right? Some failures. My second classroom I went visit was the honor students. Teacher taught history. This classroom set up a different way. No single desk, had tables, 4 chairs, grouping, cooperative learning. The kids had to answer the question in group setting by discussion. It was open-ended question, meaning no single answer. That's left and right-brained thinking. And as a basketball coach, I can relate to that because everything in team sports, everything in choir, everything in band requires team learning and requires the right brain to be activated. What does that have to do with anything, Queen? We're talking about money. See, it takes a creative mind to get on this side of the break. It takes a creative mind to accept. I can use debt to invest. You mean to tell me I can get an SBA loan at 3.75% and I may get a 15 to 18% return? See, when you work in a warehouse or an environment, this the same thing, assembly line. I had this great video. I wish I couldn't find it. But during the Great Depression, Henry Ford, they had a video and they said the workers, it showed the angle. The workers were like robots. Everybody, hand movements, everybody was on the assembly line. They passed at the same time. They moved to the right at the same time. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they had a broad view. And so that's why it's hard to get people to understand this side. And that's why Robert Kiyosaki said, it takes a different person, a different mindset. It takes asking the question, why do I always have to raise my right hand in school? Why do I always have to walk on the right side? Why can't I collaboratively learn? Why do I have a problem with network marketing? Why would I rather do sushi than a home-based business? Why is one of my favorite things. Would I rather earn labored income versus leverage cash flow? Because you are not used to working in groups. And you think anytime I have to talk to somebody else to help my income level and inform and educate them, then there's got to be a pyramid scheme. But you don't think giving your money to a group of people with no products and services, no educational enhancement, no knowledge, no financial education, no experts working with the IRS to see if you're overpaying and your paycheck so they can help you pay less, get taxed less on your labor. You don't think that's worth investing in. Because you have been trying to be a worker and not a thinker. Right? And then on top of that, we go to church. The other, and I tell everyone, let me read some of these comments before I get into that. Miseducation, corporation, school, government. Don't forget about the church, Mark. Teaching us about business. I'm getting my critic in mind right now. Okay. They do teach, they do not teach, right? Because of the 1903, by Rockefeller and also Dale Carnegie as well, right? That's why when you go to universities and college, you see Carnegie Hall, one of the rich, wealthy families. And all these families have to do with the IRS as well, right? Generational wealth. So the corporation runs school and is teaching government, right? Helped a lot of people, right side. Creativity, left side. Analytical, you're right. So they never tap into your creative mind. Never tap into that creative, to that entrepreneur mind. other ways to leverage people to make money. You'd rather do it solo based off your labor. And you'll always be an economic slave. If you think that, I'm going to ask you all this question. I'm going to be very transparent and honest with you all. Before taxes, I told you about my pension of teaching. Before taxes, at least that we'll wait for Jesus. I'm going to get back on the church. Before taxes, my annual contract as a teacher is like $50,000. And I have like 15 years of teaching. Right? Now I'm a 6-figure income earner, but that's my portion added for teaching. But you all, if I didn't know the power of credit, do you think I could ever get above that income bracket on an income like that? And our pay raise is like 2% annually. So inflation is like 3 to 5%, which is rising the prices. So the raise I get on my paycheck can't even beat inflation. And if you're not even getting a raise annually, and some people think, well, I'll get a promotion. Still going to be tax high. This is what P. Diddy meant when he said more money, more problems. He should have said more money, more taxes. If you don't learn a financial education again, how is it that people can talk to each other about sushi, but they're afraid to talk to each other about a home-based business where you beating the tax game? I don't understand it. And you get nothing just like the cash dollar, but a promise to deliver. So back to the church. You hear the rich young ruler went to Jesus and said, how can I enter the kingdom of heaven? Jesus said, sell all your possessions, right? Sell to the poor and come follow me. Well, first, Jesus said, well, you have to keep all my commandments. He said, I've done that from my youth. So this man was saved, right? He was a Christian or Christ-like, right? Jesus, okay. So you are saved. You accepted me and you kept my commandments. You've done well. Now, to get to the next level, which is kingdom, you have to sell your possessions. Let me know that you're going to put me above all those material things, right? And that my mission and purpose will exceed that materials. And follow me. I'll make you a disciple. Come follow me in the highways and byways. Sell your liabilities and I'm going to give you true assets. It wasn't that the man wasn't saved or wouldn't make it to heaven. You can have riches and material things on earth and still make it to heaven. Why? Because for God, gold is asphalt. He told, I have many mansions in heaven. The streets of gold is the streets of heaven are paved with gold. So it didn't mean the man was down to hell. It just meant he couldn't enter to that next level, because had he followed Jesus, he would have got all that material possession back and more. And he would have got purpose. And he would have found purpose. When you find purpose, that's the biggest wealth you can obtain. When you find your purpose, this right here is my purpose. And when you find your purpose, the wealth follows. I have a minister, he's not on. I didn't get it when he was saying this. He said, Queen of Credit. He called me out on one of his Periscopes. He has a large following on Periscopes. He said, are you on? I said, yeah, I'm on. I commented. He said, you used to be cash flow, but now you're flow cash. You used to want cash flow, but now you're flow cash. I didn't get it. I said, flow cash? I never heard of flow cash. He said, you are the flow, right, that cash has to go through, because people need you. You are the flow. See, you can get cash flow. You can get that back in taxes through a home-based business. You can get that I get cash flow through my home-based business, which means I'm taxed differently. I get taxed a 1099 from my home-based business versus W-2. But when you're the flow cash, people pay you for your purpose, for simply being your purpose, for being you. And that's what the rich young ruler missed the opportunity to discover for the material stuff. And then the second thing the church do is they talk about Lazarus, the poor man, right? Lazarus, the poor man. You know, they didn't feed Lazarus on heaven. The rich man wouldn't give Lazarus the bread that fell from his table. And the rich man went to hell, and he saw Lazarus in the bosom and going to heaven. And he said, Lazarus, please give me a drip of water, maybe on my tongue, right? Because it's hot, I'm in hell. But you don't ever hear about the Lazarus who was Jesus' best friend, sisters Mary and Martha, that Jesus raised from the dead, that was rich and wealthy. The other thing, the last one on the church, Romans 13:8. They said, oh, no man, nothing but to love him. But that scripture said more. Now, I'm not speaking of George Pitts. He's great too on Periscope, but I'm speaking of Rudico Roberts, Flow Cash. You all need to put in this Flow Cash, whether you watch it live or in the replay. Flow Cash. So Rudico Roberts, Flow Cash. That's his coin phrase, Flow Cash. Find your purpose and the cash will flow through you and to you. That scripture was not talking about not being in debt, right? Because if that was the case, why would the year of Jubilee exist in the Bible? Where they erased all debt. And in Psalms 137, he says, the wicked borrow but don't repay. That scripture was saying, whatever you owe a person, whether it's honor, benevolence, goodwill, give it to them. Don't borrow from a person and don't repay. If you borrow, repay, right? That scripture is taken totally out of context. And I won't even get on tithing. I believe in tithing and giving to ministry gifts into the church. But that scripture has been totally taught out of context, right? So Malachi 3, but I don't have time to discuss that tonight. So explain the advantage of leasing a vehicle versus purchasing it. Leasing a vehicle through your home-based business, I refer to those two books, you will get money back, cash flow back for your mileage, your maintenance, and depreciation. When you purchase a vehicle, you just get the depreciation, right? And we have people now that's purchasing vehicles for 6 years, 5 and 6 years. Some of these vehicles can't even drive that long, won't even last that long, right? And so that's how the advantages are. You get the money back that you put into the vehicle once you lease. Versus now when you're just driving your vehicle as an owner of it or buying it, you don't get those advantages, right? And a lease helps you, like we're talking about fighting against inflation. It fights against depreciation of the vehicle, meaning you're not overpaying for the vehicle, right? Meaning if I take out a $35,000 loan, and if I want to resell the vehicle in 2 months or 2 years, and it's only worth $28,000 or $27,000, right? Especially people with bad credit, then you just lost money because you can't even sell it for the amount that you took out the loan. That's not true when it comes to leasing. You're really getting your worth of what the vehicle is for, right? So what's the minimum you can invest in? Silver, I guess whatever, I don't know your financial situation, but whatever is affordable for you. But right now it's at $25 an ounce. Yes, Flow Cash. There we go. Look at Ms. Brown. That's why I'm going to send you that credit stacking report. Although it's 9:52 my time, as soon as I get out this live stream, Flow Cash. When you find your wealth, when you find your purpose, the wealth follows. Gwen says, Queen, I grew up in church. I can't recall them teaching anything you're speaking on. Okay, so if you never heard the sermon about the rich young ruler, or Romans 13, oh no man nothing but to love them, or that it was a sin to get in debt, then you're blessed. Because I have. I grew up in the church, been all around them. But they never talked about King Solomon. They never talked about Abraham and their wealth much. Never talked about Lydia, the seller of purple linen, the businesswoman, the single businesswoman. Proverbs 31st woman, they often said she cooked and prepared meals. She never cooked. She had maid service, and she had several businesses. She had real estate. She brought food from afar. Her food was shipped in. She had exotic foods. Her husband sat at the gate and called her blessed. He just bragged on his wife. She had multiple business adventures. But yet I've heard preachers preach on Mother's Day that this woman cooked. She did not cook. She oversaw her maid service in her household. So if you never got that teaching in church, you are blessed. You are blessed, right? I've heard, erase my debt prayers. Just, let the computer system crash. I've seen debt burning services where they bring their mortgages to the church and they put them in a pot and they burn them and they pray over them that their debt will be eradicated from their mortgage. When you can simply use credit cards, for example, when you can use credit cards, I don't know what that means, as a strategy to pay down any mortgage debt quicker, because credit card is simple interest and your mortgage debt is amortization interest, which means, simply put, learn about velocity banking. You can pay off any mortgage in 5 to 7 years, but you need credit cards for that strategy. But people have been taught to cut up their credit cards, right? So that's the flow cash. So right now, you all, I am getting tired. This has been a long stream, but I hope it's been informative to you all. If you all have any questions, I may take one or two. If not, it's approaching the 2-hour mark. But look, 91 people have stayed on. That lets me know you all are hungry for knowledge, for truth. And when you can, use your credit to acquire real assets, right? Use your credit to acquire real assets. And if you have 0% credit cards and you have enough liquidity of cash saved, right? Simple interest and amortization, exactly. If you have enough liquidity, cash on hand, in the event that your job is taken away, right? And the stimulus is not given in time, the experts are saying, not Queen. And there are other cryptocurrencies that are great investments as well. That Bitcoin and gold. Now, Bitcoin and gold is for kings, right? For queens, Ethereum, and some more smaller altcoins and blockchains will still be good crypto investments, because they will, Bitcoin will always be the king, right? And Bitcoin halving took place this year, which is why I'm telling you all, 2020 is either going to be a wealth transfer or a welfare transfer. Let me see. I thought I had this in my notes. I put it somewhere. I thought I had it in my notes about the Bitcoin halving that took place and why that's a big deal in 2020 as well. I may have left it in my other room, but I may do another live stream. If you all don't know about that, Google Bitcoin halving 2020. Whenever it's production, everything's about supply and demand, just like gold and silver. These Bitcoin, digital gold, right? It's digital gold. And a lot of rich and wealthy have transferred their money into Bitcoin as well. But, people that have smaller budgets have transferred it into other cryptos that's more affordable for the price, just like silver. So if a multimillionaire is stacking up on silver, then you all make sure that you invest on my website. Again, fixmycreditandcash.com, and to that silver stacking report. It's still at $25 an ounce. But however, you do not have your cash reserves. This is not a strategy for you, right? Because you may have to hold on to that for a year or two, right? Okay, I was going to cut your credit cards. And let me say this about credit cards. I'm glad you mentioned it. But that silver stacking report, even if you may not have the reserves, I think the $35 is worth the knowledge, right? But just make sure you stroll all the way down the homepage. And if you purchase that, you include your email in the notes. It's going to reach its highest price. An average person will not ever be able to secure Bitcoin. The dollar is dead. Yeah. But they can secure anything. I thought it's so many things I want to do, but I get so many people come in with credit that I can't, I have to get those credit done for them, right? I wanted to do a debt destroyer, how to dispute debt collectors and have their report available on my website. I also was going to do a Queen of Crypto because I have a Queen of Coins report. I was going to break down to you all what cryptos, and blockchains and things, give you a financial education. I was going to have that available. Maybe one night I just need to stay up all night and work. I don't care how sleep or time I get, and just get that done, right? So now, Ms. Brown, then I'm signing off. I'll address this about credit cards, and then I'm logging out. But this is worth listening all the way to the end. People, I'm looking right in the camera. It's just me and you. Don't stress over credit card debt. Now, maybe a mortgage or your apartment that would take away a roof over your head if you're delinquent on it. Maybe a vehicle, right, that you finance. I wouldn't even stress over vehicle debt. Because did you all know, for example, that if you have a high interest or what they call a predatory loan, right, charging you high interest rate, 20%, 18% on a vehicle. If you want to keep that vehicle and it's a good maintenance vehicle, right, it will last, you can file bankruptcy on that vehicle, and which credit and debt is dirt cheap right now, whatever the standard interest rates for used vehicle will, no matter your credit score, right, and the blue book value for that vehicle, no matter how upside down you are, through a bankruptcy, it will be adjusted to that. And credit card is unsecured debt. This is something I wanted to show with you all that we didn't get to in that Robert Kiyosaki video. But he states that student loan debt is the worst debt you can get into. And yet it's the easy accessible. So credit card, you can file it in bankruptcy, right? Pay a professional to dispute the bankruptcy if it's not reporting accurately. Credit cards, sometimes the banks and companies will use it as a tax expense for them, tax write-off, just like Jeff Bezos is doing with Amazon, where he makes billions and pays no taxes. So a lot of these, they're already prepared. Banks already have reserved for delinquent debt on credit cards. They don't pay back. And they would just have a tax write-off. But the thing is, they will sometimes send you a 1099-C in the mail, or give you a 1099-C. And what a 1099-C is, you legally supposed to claim that as income, right? But this is all about having experts around you. And my tax professional is also my business partner with my home-based business, right, with MWR. So he takes care of my taxes. I haven't had a charge off, but in the event that for some unfortunate circumstance that I do, and I get a 1099-C in the mail that I'm supposed to claim as income, he can help me reduce that where I don't pay taxes on that, right, legally. And the third option for credit card is they will negotiate with you when they see you're unable to pay They will negotiate you to pay back and forth sometimes of the debt, sometimes lower than that. Some people have $10,000, $11,000 balances. They pay $2,000 off. Credit cards get some type of reimbursement back. Then they invest in getting that negative charge off reporting off of their credit report as if it never happened. Now, some of the downsides of using those three strategies with credit card is that you may lose banking relationship, right? You may burn bridges. You may, like American Express, they will blackball you. You default on their credit cards. You may not be able to apply again, right? There are hundreds of million other banks out there. And when you know better, you do better. So sometimes when I see people post that I paid off my credit card debt, I'm like, man, the rich and wealthy would I know they pay in good standing. Well, first of all, rich and wealthy usually have charge cards, right? Which means they pay their balances off every month and they get special perks and privileges for having those, which is another tier, another level of credit cards. But yeah, that's why I told people, I made video that I would pay them down, because right now credit cards to me is just like Bitcoin. It's insurance for you. If you need to pay your essential bills, some people are paying their mortgages with it. Essential needs, right? Food, groceries, etc. So if you know your company will keep it in good standing and not lower your limit or close the account, it's good to keep them open. But there are also some good credit cards right now, like the Chase Freedom Card, 0% interest rate, balance transfers, being if you have good credit. And let me share that with you all before I go. That this will be my little bonus. Because Bitcoin, gold, and silver are all insurance havens, meaning that if you have them, the only thing about gold and silver, that's why I said is silver is still affordable for everyone. But, you know, people really hoard and hold on to them till they reach their highest peak. So if you're low on cash reserves, then that may not be an option for you. But if you have cash reserves and you know, and like I said, it's really worth the education to just invest in that report, just so you know. See, I'm trying to bring up that credit card. Okay. To me, credit card is just as good as gold. Debt and credit right now is just as good as gold and silver because it's dirt cheap. And you can get it to invest to give you a high rate of return. If paying off a credit card takes your last or your cash reserve, I would say pay it down. And credit is an investment at this time too. Invest in getting your credit profile completely clean as you can, meaning no negative remarks, collections charge off, late payments in the last 2 years, no more than 5 hard pulls or inquiries on your credit report. Experience Equifax TransUnion, you don't need to be maxed out in inquiries. A lot of that will be automated denial. And in order to get business credit, absolutely no bankruptcy reporting at all. But that's not the case for personal credit cards. So this is one that I like, the Chase Card Freedom. Copy and paste that. That link is that they're offering right now, that a lot of people in my private group are just, you know, eating up. Leave for class. And that's that link. And I like it for not only the cash back, you spend $500 on your first 3 months. And I tell people right now, use credit cards to either invest if you want to purchase silver with it, or your essential needs, or to pay for your rent or mortgage, right? If you spend $500, your purchase first 3 months in your account, you get 0% interest rate, 15 months, 1.5 unlimited cash back on every purchase. So it's not like the Citibank reward cashback cards where you get the cash back on certain purchases. This is every purchase, right? Your cash back, because I told you cars like these will be your only, will be better or advantageous for you to beat the dollar devaluing, because you're getting cash something back. And you can even apply that towards the payment of the car, right? So, you build up enough cash back, unlimited, and then you can use that to actually make payments on the cars and re-put that. So that's a great deal to me, or great usage or education uses of credit cards. Preachers, yeah, flow cash. Find your purpose, you find your wealth. What should your credit score be? With the Chase card, you want to have 5 or less hard pulls. It's more so not necessarily a score, but a profile. Everything I just listed, Murdis, no late payments, last 2 years, charge off or collections. No more than 5 inquiries. Everyone, if you don't have this, you need to do this. Go to Experian.com, get their free credit monitoring service, and have Credit Karma so you can know what's on Equifax and TransUnion, right? And so when that profile is in place, because there are some people with a 740 credit score who might just had a recent collection, or a 740 or 750 credit score that has 6 inquiries on one of the credit agencies reporting, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, or they have 7 hard pulls or 7 inquiries. Or maybe they had a recent late payment. And so you might be asking, well, how can they have a high credit score if they have that one negative? Well, they could have already been in the 800s, right? And it dropped them by 100 points or so. So just because you have the high credit score doesn't mean you meet the profile qualifications. So you don't want to have those negatives. But with that being said, if you don't have any charge-off, collection, or late payments in the last 2 years, and less than 5 hard pulls, inquiries, or inquiries on your credit report, anything over a 680, of course, with the qualifying income, should get you in, right? Should get you in. 94 people online. Hey, if I had so much strength and stamina, I would stay with you all. But I'm tired. But I really enjoyed this scope. Thank you all that donated. Again, the super chats. Thank you all to $14.99. But I gave you a lot of information. Yeah, Bitcoin. I see Curtis says the people's money. That's real true. It is the people's money, meaning that it's not controlled or manipulated by the Feds, IRS, like the stock market is, right? It's controlled, it's decentralized. And with crypto, I'm really expecting more and more businesses and states, even grocery stores, should start accepting it as payment going into next year, because the dollar is devaluing. So I'm really expecting it to be not only a good investment tool, but a currency to use to purchase goods and items, right? Queen of Credit, I thoroughly enjoyed you all. I'm fatigued, but I'm not tired, because this is my purpose. I'm fatigued. So you might say, Queen, what are you going to do tomorrow? As I tell my friend guy, I'm going to end this. I'm trying to take over the world in the credit and cash flow industry. So here's to your health and your wealth, your peace and prosperity, your credit and cash flow. Queen of Credit out. Make sure that you walk in purpose, be the flow, cash, right? Once you find your purpose, the wealth will follow. Have you all ever read The Alchemist? That was the whole purpose behind The Alchemist. He thought wealth was in so many other things until he got to the end and said, oh, okay, Murs, make sure you include your email address too. Okay, send me that message. When I found my purpose, I found my wealth. The Alchemist. Another book somewhere around here. That's what happens when you get divorced. You have just time to read and gain knowledge. All right, you all. Have a great night. Queen of Credit out.